I got my first request for a video today, and I just thought, you know what, let me address it. It was a question on how I grew on social media. I'm going to tell you how I got my first 500 to 1,000 followers. I'm still at that pretty much, like around about 1,000, but I had to build up on each platform. I had to build up on LinkedIn, I had to build up on Instagram, I had to build up on TikTok. I'm going to share with you what I learned and, how that went about, just to answer this one subscriber's question. What did I believe before I started the social media thing? I thought I could do it faceless because everyone's pushing faceless and all that jazz. I thought then I could do follow for follow. I thought if I follow this guy, they'll follow me back and I can incrementally get up with my social media. That was before I even deep dived. I was also thinking or of the belief that I had to be cheesy, that I had to be subscribe for more, like channel, that I had to be super animated. Now, I used to be a super animated person, attention needy and stuff like that. But I found that my personality is actually a lot calmer and more reserved. I was like, well, within this season of my life, how can my social media reflect who I am and what the experience is like working with me? I went in and I did what any entrepreneur should and would do. That is test. I went in and I tested, not knowing what I needed to do, not knowing what the whole social media route looks like. I went in and I tested. I said to myself, okay, let's start on Insta. I learned how to do video edits because Instagram is a profile or is a platform that needs your profile to be a little bit more glamorous than other networks like TikTok. I decided, okay, let me work on some cool video edits. So I did quite a lot of research on that. I actually wanted to hire a video editor. They made an edit for me that I used, but I never really liked that edit because I knew that I could do better. I knew that I could find the style that I liked. I created these videos in like the Hormozy style when I first started, but I found that I would put in 3 to 4 hours of work editing a minute's worth of video to the best of my ability, and it would go absolutely nowhere. Let me say it again. I made high quality videos with everything that people are saying that you need to do, with all the crazy effects and stuff, but it went nowhere. I had to go back to the drawing board. I had learned video edits. I had a good looking page. Eventually got to 1,000 followers on my main business page for Intervirtual. But that was through a lot of like follow for follow. That was with a lot of putting out my video edits. It was pretty much, yeah, it had some of my face, but it had mostly carousels and all that stuff. And I had all my competitors trying to steal my style and following me just to see what I'm doing, because I was doing a lot better than a lot of the guys that I had been following at the time. There was all that, and I was getting a lot of like spam messages, and it wasn't great for the DMs. Honestly, it wasn't great for the DMs because I was sending out cold DMs and I was getting no responses because I made the mistake of using my business page as opposed to this. Part 2. I started using Insta again. Well, I hadn't stopped using Insta, let's say that, but I created a personal brand, and that was pretty cool. I'll tell you how it happened. I was researching the best ways to increase my follower count, to increase engagement. It's actually not even increase follower count, it's actually to increase engagement and to increase interest and get my responses up when it comes to DMs. And what everyone was saying is that a personal brand is where it's at. You have a better time engaging with prospects because they see you as a human being. If you would be messaging someone from a business page now, if I were messaging you from tomscomputers.com, that's the Instagram page, and I was messaging you saying, hey, how's it going? Is this a good place to ask a question? Because that's the usual SMMA style DM. I wouldn't get anyone opening. And I had DM'd thousands of people on Instagram using my business page, getting nothing. And when I was getting interest, it was basically people that were like asking, what's your price and all that stuff. Hey, can we get onto a meeting? No, I only landed one meeting, and this dude was like, hey, I don't have any money for you. I'm like, what the hell? I decided, let's create something a little bit more personal. Let's create something that's a little bit more about me as a person and what the experience is like working with me. What I did was I started recording more videos of myself, teaching people how to do specific things, talking about the actual system, online credibility, and how it can help you attract, retain, transform casual visitors and turn them into paying customers, talking about the projects that I've done, and then sharing stories of me doing stuff. Literally stories of me in the coffee shop, stories of me doing a dip. Every day I would do a cold plunge, and I did that for a month. And that was pretty cool because people identified a human being behind the business. And eventually I started getting inquiries. I started getting people asking questions. I started growing a bit of a personal brand. I had, less than 500 followers, and I still have less than 500 followers, but the quality of the know, like, and trust factor has gone up immensely. I started getting good DM responses. People started really paying attention on what I'm doing, and my first few inbound leads started coming in, and I'm still sub 500 followers. Actually, one of my inbound leads I'm closing today. I've got a meeting with them this morning. I know, right? That was pretty cool, starting to crush it, starting to get the groove of how to market my business as an SMMA. For clients, we do straight paid advertising. For clients, it's a whole different game. We know what we need to do for the clients. It's not organic. I said, screw organic socials because it's dying for my type of clients and the people that I need to work with. Most of these guys have their own reservations about filming and doing all this. With whatever content we have, we need to squeeze out all the juice. I usually say paid advertising is the route for these guys. But for us, we want to do it organically. Obviously, we want to keep costs low, and we also want to create as much digital footprint. And I think that going organic is really, really good at the start because it teaches you the craft. It teaches you how to get to your first 20 videos and to learn how to actually give a good value proposition, to give good knowledge, because people that just want to run paid ads, sometimes you don't have your offer down packed, and it sucks for you to like go in and record content. I've been training this content muscle for a long time, and it's now evolving into doing this YouTube thing, and that's what it needs to do for you. Train that muscle, get in front of the camera every single day, and don't just use paid advertising because you want to fast track your results. Which brings me to this part 3. I sound like a hypocrite because I use TikTok, and it was a real game changer because I went organic, and the organic didn't work as well as I wanted it to, but I could see that I could test organic and then find a winning creative that did better than everything else and then run ads on it. I know I said ads are pretty much for the lazy entrepreneur when it comes to your socials, but it's good because I'd worked on that muscle and recorded a lot of content, found what worked, and then pushed ads. That's the goal. That's the game. Don't push ads without knowing how to create good content. That's the crux. I ran ads, and I ran an ad campaign for follows because you can do follow campaigns on TikTok. And with those follow campaigns on TikTok, I had generated about 800 and something followers in the first week and a half of being on TikTok. It's crazy, right? It's created a lot of opportunity for me. Lots of people in my comments, lots of people saving the content. That's how I knew when people start saving your content on TikTok, that's the biggest indicator of value. Now, as it stands, I am 810 followers on TikTok. My goal is to get to 1,000. When I get to 1,000, I can actually add a link to my website, to any funnels, to any VSLs that I have. And that's the biggest goal. I've paused on content on TikTok right now so I can focus more on this. And then I can build up more funds to actually invest double, triple the amount that I did invest into TikTok so that I can grow faster. I want to be at 3,000 followers by the end of this month. That's the goal. And then I need to create content. I need to go back and figure out what kind of content speaks to them the most. I'm gonna go and audit my accounts and do that. That's my strategy right now. But your strategy should just be to start. After you do your ads for follows and all those things, and you get to a sizable number, which is past 1,000, just get past 1,000. Then you can add links and stuff like that. It makes life so much easier. You get past 1,000 and you also run lead gen campaigns for inbound leads. That's what TikTok can do for you. It is basically the lowest CPM that is out there right now, right next to Twitter. It is the lowest CPM. I found that TikTok is better for me. Twitter is cool. I never really liked the platform. Maybe it's my associations with it, but yeah, let me know in the comments. Maybe I should try Twitter and try this exact method on Twitter to see what it does. But I'll run a lead gen campaign for inbound, and boom, 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 we start getting leads. I'm getting about 3 to 4 new leads per week to qualify. Now, here's a disclaimer. TikTok doesn't have that high of a lead quality. Maybe it's my targeting. Maybe I should target a bit better, because right now I'm keeping it rather broad. And I'm getting leads from South Africa, which are a lot of guys that can't necessarily afford what my prices are. Even though I'm based in South Africa, I'm a South African entrepreneur, but guys cannot cough up what I'm looking to, get as a retainer, because I provide immense value. I run full online credibility system, AI system. No one is going to get the quality that I'm putting out for them, in South Africa for the price point that I'm at. I actually had a closest thing to a qualified lead that I got to from TikTok within, the first week, was someone that was willing to pay less than $500 for quite a huge set of needs. Basically, they wanted a SEO route and a website route because they had a messed up website, and then they also needed us to do some automation. And I wanted to throw in the automation for free. I said to them, okay, let's do it for less than 500, and then I take a percentage. They were mising me on the percentage. They were like, I don't want to do this. And the interaction just didn't feel right. And I spoke to the team, because as an entrepreneur, you've got to have counsel. Always have counsel. So I spoke to the team and said, is this viable for us? I know that we can scale this guy to the moon, but is it actually viable? And, everyone said no. So I had to disqualify someone who had pretty much been ready, with the money up front. But I said, no. So when you on TikTok and you are pushing for ads and stuff, either get your messaging and targeting 100% correct and then run your ads. That would be great. And that's why we start with organic. We need to know who engages, and then based on who engages, we change the approach. So yeah, that is the breakdown, of how we're doing this. What do those videos look like? Oh, that's dope. What do those videos look like? So obviously with this channel, I keep things very organic. This is a one-take wonder. So I'm not going to show you anything visual, but I will at a later stage, if you put a comment down below and, you help me push in the algorithm, I'll be able to put higher budget videos together and basically show you this is my version of testing. I'm doing this, low dopamine type of video so that you guys can give me the right responses so that I can now go in and invest a little bit more into the whole production. Okay, so just bear with me when it comes to this. So what do my videos look like? What is the structure of the video? Let's talk about that. Any good video needs a hook. Okay, so the hook would be something as easy as top 3 reasons why you wouldn't believe me if I told you, here's how we get X result. All right, so that's a cool hook, especially for SMMA. Like what these guys on TikTok and all this say about hooks, yeah, it's cool, but it's very needy, very freaking needy. And do you want to be that needy, with your hooks? Or do you want to be a human being? Do you want your social media to run like you would run your own life, like you would have conversations? Because the biggest disconnect is when I actually speak to guys that are doing social media and they're all out there, they have this persona, and then you meet them in person and it's just, you're not the person that I thought you actually were. So yeah, don't put across like a front, just be you. I think that's what I'm learning now through long form content. And then provide a simple and clear solution. Usually 1 to 3 steps, nothing over that. The rule of thirds is great. Don't do 2 steps, 3 steps, or 1 step, okay? And for me, I used to add a CTA. I used to say like, follow, subscribe for more, or whatever. But I just found that needy as well. Because what Alex Hormozy says, and this is like a big inspiration for me and what I do for my business, is you just gotta give. Just give. It's a little bit of a yo. You just gotta give as much value as possible and not ask for anything in return. And when you do eventually ask for something in return, people will be more than happy to give you that result. So I don't really ask for anything in return in my content. I feel that it's a bit too salesy. Maybe when you get bigger and you can ask, or you give value. Like what I'm trying to do now is say message this word for a free guide. So I'd write a free guide on an entire process and I would create videos around that process, and I'd say, DM us for a free guide. Not DM, or I'd say type this word for a free guide. That's what I would do now as a call to action, because that creates a lot of leads that you can, target, and then B, you can build an email list. C, you providing value to people that actually need it. So that's what I would do for a call to action. But when you're starting out, you don't really need that kind of stuff. Like I would say, don't even do a call to action until you get to like 1,000 followers. And then for you specifically, the person that has stuck around to watch this entire video, that needed this solution to their problem, that needed the story, that needed it in their life right now, let me give you an action step. Let me give you the whole breakdown of what you need to do right now. Okay. What you need to do right now is go in, find your niche. I don't know what niche you're in, what creators are in that niche. Find those creators in those niche. Research, watch those videos and write down specifically what they are doing in those videos. Transcribe those videos. Find out what language they're using in their scripts, okay? Do that. Maybe run your business's SOP, your business's, framework and system through ChatGPT to find out what the pain point solutions, all those things that you have. Sometimes we forget as business owners, and we need to remind ourselves constantly, right? You put that through ChatGPT, you take those scripts that you've gotten, and then you film those 20 vids, upload those 20 vids. Okay, upload them daily if you can. That would be so sick. One a day on any chosen platform. For me, I would start now knowing what I know. I would start on TikTok. I would literally start on TikTok. The only edits that I would do, because remember I told you, Instagram, I did a lot of like heavy edits. And what I would do now is the opposite. I would do exactly what I'm doing here. The only edit that you see on this video is when I take away the ums and the ahs. That's AI that does that for me. And the captions, that's AI. Those are the only two edits that you will see on these videos right now. You know, when the channel grows and it becomes, gets past, 100, 200 subscribers, we'll add a little bit more edit. But this is it right now. It's an MVO, minimum viable MVP, minimum viable product. An MVO is a minimum viable offer, but an MVP is a minimum viable product. Create 20 of those. Only add cuts, only add captions, that's all. And no need to get crazy now. Just tell people who you are, how things work in your business, how you've been doing, what your results are, what you can achieve, and you'll watch. The followers will come in. People who identify with your personality and your value will come in. And next thing you know, you're starting to get inbound leads. Now, after you start figuring out who your ideal clients are, you find those winning creatives, and then you add a little bit of a budget. Okay, you add a couple of dollars, a couple of rands, whatever currency you're in, and you just test out what that can do for you and for your business. You'll just watch like your comments starting to get a little bit, more full, more people saving the content, especially when you're teaching someone something, how to do X, Y, and Z. You'll start seeing the numbers going up, and that's going to help you big time. And then from there, you can start running some lead gen on various, VSL type of videos. And yeah, that should be your roadmap to clearing the social media stuff. Again, thanks to that subscriber that has asked me that question. I'm more than happy to provide any value that you need afterwards. Guys, this is still in its initial phase. We're still, testing out how to do specific things. And I really wanted to give as much upfront value as I can, as possible. So yeah, support me where you guys can. Help me grow this channel. Help me get a little bit further than where I'm at right now. And when we see that it's viable, I will start putting more budget to the edits, to making this a little bit, more exciting. But right now, the people who are watching are dopamine starved, but they're also seeking value. So thanks, man. I'll see you guys later. Cheers.